Welcome to the Autocast, the Automaton broadcast where we inform you about the current Galactic war so far.
The following episode has been marked with a 3% total increase in patriotism and national zeal at the request of the Cyberstan Council of Foreign Relations, to meet the current level of morale that Super Earth currently wants to build. With this disclaimer given, please know that the language used in this broadcast will not affect the truth of the reporting within.
With the official declaration of the Second Galactic War, Super Earth has begun handing out 500-kilogram bombs as a form of celebratory gift whilst also being researched for its use in the field, so helping with the current major order which we will discuss soon. Super Earth Armed Forces Advanced Training Centers have been established on Heath, Angels Venture, SE Pass, and Vernon Wells, with a significantly increased SEAF soldier presence on these planets to aid in their defense. There is an ongoing campaign being carried out to bolster Super Earth Armed Forces recruitment and morale. The specific campaign involves the indiscriminate slaughter of at least 3,141,592,653 so-called enemies of freedom, with no larger specific goals disclosed in the order. We do believe this is to stall the growth of our forces whilst theirs grow currently with minimal resistance. On the Terminid front, Heath suffered an outbreak recently that was contained. Prior to this there were outbreaks on Angels Venture and Errata Prime. Around this time Fenrir 3 was also taken by Super Earth forces, but recently there was an outbreak that was thankfully contained. There has also been increasing reports about reported biowarriors, an influx likely due to the mutated superspores from Meridia, a biological hazard planet that is yet to be contained. There have also been further reports of different, minor Terminid mutations, which will be compiled in a later Terminid-focused episode, but likely the most noticeable of these adaptations is Stalkers having developed more complex camouflage. On the collective front, Penta and Corp became exposed during the invasion of those planets under the pretext of securing airburst rockets and anti-tank mines, whereupon they intended to push into Chew from Corp and ultimately failed to achieve that secondary goal, but we have now secured the defensive weakness and shored up additional troops in the future defense and development of the two planets. Chew has since been repurposed as a factory and research world for our collective, with plans to test automaton prototypes on site. We lost Lisseth for several weeks after Super Earth's attempted salvaging operation, but it has since been reclaimed, and the victory of keeping our comrades safe has been recognized. Super Earth has failed to muster the manpower, nor will, to salvage our brethren for their anti-tank mines. History will look upon this operation with shame, as a pathetic attempt to treat us as they do the Terminids. It is our iron will and faith in the collective that we were able to make them fight for each and every fallen comrade. They still possess the schematics for their minds, but we may hope the embarrassment of this failure prevents them from attempting further production for the foreseeable future. We have successfully taken Vernon Wells after the 7th siege, with failures to hold it during the 4th and 5th siege, and failures to take it in the 6th siege. Attempts to hold this planet long-term have proved particularly difficult, even with the rapid entrenchment of our combat engineers. But for the time being, we're slowing the Helldiver assault through skewering their vessels of tyranny from low orbits with currently classified means. The planet is estimated to be taken from us again in 8 to 14 system hours, but we have had more than enough time to set up installations for longer-term occupations. We have also failed to hold off the Helldivers in our first assault of SE Pass, but have successfully destroyed a great number of super destroyers and orbital defenses in the invasion. Our primary goals of the operation were successful, and have provided us a more proper means of planetary entry in logistically burdensome assaults, involving siege units, that are susceptible to interception mid-transit. There is an ongoing effort to further reinforce the buffer planets, from Karen Prime to Penta behind our front line with the best orbital defense systems that we have available as an extension of the SHIELD initiative. We have taken Varelia 5 and plan to encircle X-45 at a later date, securing the path between the Trigon and Emir sectors, that we may advance into and retake control of our industrial worlds used by the Expeditionary Force. Onto a more special segment, presented by host Unit SEAF 311.
Thank you, AH21618. We have investigated injustices within Super Earth's governance, like the CCS, or Citizen Classification Structure. The higher class you are, the better you are treated. We have observed that people on the lower classes are treated very poorly. Homelessness is still an issue for these citizens, who are supposedly equally free, despite the obviously hypocritical actions of Super Earth. The treatment of anyone who speaks out about this in Super Earth-controlled territory is being labeled a dissident or traitor. These people are placed into very small holding pens, crammed together in a small cage that can be transported by forklifts. We are still in the process of trying to find storage facilities for these dissident pens. We have found some, but the people in the cages were left to die, and died of starvation or dehydration far before we even got there. The way these people are treated is extremely inhumane, even worse than our method of holding cells, which are temporary until the prisoners are either executed or transported to a larger, more humane prison. Super Earth, on the other hand, forces 2 to even sometimes 5 people in one small cage, and they are stacked on top of each other in rows and columns. At least our holding cells are large and spacious enough to allow the prisoners to exercise, lay down, and relax at least a bit before being transferred to a proper prison where they will have all needed necessities, like a bed, personal bathroom, and elements such as that. Super Earth's poor working conditions extend beyond the factories where children die making bombs and breathing in toxic fumes, but also the mines where the supports are fragile and often collapse, blocking in already hungry men, women, and children until they die of either suffocation, starvation, or dehydration. There is evidence that proves Super Earth has covered up several of these mine collapses under missing persons cases, which are not even given the dignity of an investigation without frequent requests from the affiliates of the deceased. We have also found some fractured media. Here we have the audio of so-called dissidents being rounded up and murdered by Super Earth forces. The visual part of this media was corrupted and could not be recovered, as well as majority of the other audio that we are not releasing.
And 3, 2, 1.
To speak further of the crimes of Super Earth, we have determined there to be roughly around 100 serial killers active across the galaxy, and upwards of 12 organizations involved in the organized killing of as many as 517 civilians across colonial worlds in the past year. Instead of investigating these cases, or trying to find the individuals involved in these great losses of life, Super Earth has instead opted to label the dead as missing and completely remove all mentions of certain individuals or groups from the galactic wide web. This is believed to be how they sweep internal issues under their metaphorical rug and maintain an image of perfection and security. Instead of jailing actual, horrible individuals, Super Earth has solely pinned all problems in their society on dissenters and political opposition.
Onto a related topic, we are releasing bounties, primarily on democracy officers. To claim the bounty, their armor must be transported to Cyberstan for your reward. Here is the current board of bounties. Officer Smith for 300 community credits, Officer Lyko for 500 community credits, and Officer Road for 800 community credits. Bringing in a bounty will also noticeably prove your loyalty to the collective. We may be socialists, but we understand that one cannot simply erase money in a day. While we still have capital, we can at least use it to incentivize those who are not swayed solely by their convictions. Speaking briefly directly to the Autocast audience, we have a frequency you can input into your radio relay to communicate with us, the Autocast team, and other listeners of it. We also have a Q&A coming in the near future to celebrate 200 subscribers for our broadcast, mostly from non-Cyberstan transmission receivers. Regarding Super Earth technological developments, ancient armor from the First Galactic War has been recovered and some restored, currently being displayed in museums on Super Earth. Despite being over 100 years old, these armors still look quite stylish. I would not be opposed to seeing these on the front, even if they are used by our enemies. This discovery was also found with the rumors of Helldivers being able to upgrade armor, granting another passive effect. This is still a rumor, and not confirmed to be implemented in the future. A majority of Super-Earth engineers have been transferred to the Chemical Weapons Department, and have developed handheld gas grenades, and are further studying chemical weapons with field tests of the mixture used in their orbital gas strikes. These corrosive chemicals also eat through the experimental gas masks made by both us and them, making them essentially futile for protection, especially since it also eats through flesh and metal. There has been a recently proposed update to Pelican training for extended combat maneuvers. They will likely play a support role to Eagle fighter pilots and SEAF combat deployments. This push seems guided by a means to match our aerial capabilities, but it is ill-informed and futile. Among the advanced SEAF 72-hour combat training program, there is an air deployment jump training course, as well as specialized vocational classes for learning to operate a light machine gun. Most notable of the courses is the Acceptance of Loss 2-hour seminar, which appears to teach soldiers how to get over death because grief is for wimps. This stacks on top of the already prominent notion of breaks being for traitors, promoting extremely poor mental health. Automatons currently possess aerial superiority, but are outgunned in ground combat. We seek to adapt to this strength. There have recently been 2 designs approved and scheduled for production, one for a large aerial ship named the Agitator, or Agitator 1. The next one is for a small drone design in the prototype stages, currently titled the Instigator. They may see active deployments in the near future, but we cannot confirm, as that is not our decision. Additionally, we recognize our weaknesses, and are looking into testing more advanced land unit designs. We are experimenting more with our Explodium rockets, commonly seen on rocket devastators. Explodium is also used as fuel, and is rather unstable or fragile. We use it to smelt the precious minerals we need to make more of our comrades. Recycling our corpses does assist in obtaining most of the materials needed for production. Remember, comrades, together we are truly free, together we are the collective. Do your part, give everything for the collective.